Hello, beautiful ones. Welcome to day 18 of 30 Days of Illumination. And I'm really excited to share today's topic with you. I probably say that every day. I haven't really gone back to listen to everything to see if that's true, but it probably is true because each topic that I share with you is something that is near and dear to my heart and that I feel can be very impactful in your life. So I'm excited to share that with you to share this with you for that reason. So, today we're going to be talking about what your inner child truly needs from you. And right off the bat, I'm curious if you've done any inner child work so far. Hi, Darlene, welcome. You can let me know in the comments if you've done any inner child work so far, if you know what it is, and I'll share with you in a moment a little bit more about it. So, first of all, before I go any further, my name is Sarah Shirley. I'm an intuitive healer, a spiritual teacher, a channel, a medicine woman. And I help people to go deep into their shadows and to clear away the wounds that are blocking them from being in their fullest potential and from serving in the world mostly. And I mostly focus on shadow work and on doing 3 to 6 month containers. But I did want to give you a little teaser because I'm going to be announcing very soon in the coming days my new upcoming program. And all I can say is it's going to be a very transformative time together. That's what I want to share with you. So keep an eye out on my lives, and if you're not on my mailing list, you can do so already by clicking the link in my bio. You'll be able to get to it from there and to be one of the first people to hear about it because spaces are limited. So also, the last thing I want to share before we dive into this topic on inner child healing is that there is a contest, a giveaway. You can check out the latest pinned post on my Instagram and you can win a free healing session with me. So all the details are there in the post. So I'm so grateful you're here with me live, and let's talk about inner child healing. So first of all, what is it? Inner child healing is a way of connecting with parts of ourselves. In psychology, it's been identified by, in psychology and used quite a lot around, we can have different parts of ourselves. Like one part of me feels very confident to share my voice and put myself out there in the world. This is just an example. And another part of me feels terrified of judgment from my mother or my cousin or whoever it is. Those are parts. And this can happen in different ways inside of us. And so with inner child healing, basically what we're doing is going back and connecting with our child who experienced wounding. And I wanted to share, because this is actually really important to know, that the wounding or the trauma can be very big, or it can be something that's kind of like apparently very small or seemingly very small, but that actually impacted us greatly or is still impacting us greatly. I'll give an example. I remember when I was quite young, maybe less than 10, I'm not quite sure how old I was singing in the car, and I love singing. But I think it was my brother who said to me in a really mean, awful voice, your voice is really bad, you should stop singing. And then I grew up for so many years keeping that inside of me and having a lot of blockage in my throat and fear of singing. So it would make me clench up and not do it because of that experience. And that's not that bad of an experience. It could have been a lot worse. Inner child healing is basically what happens is we go back to visit these old versions of ourselves, these young versions, and it needs to be between the age of conception and 7 years old. The inner child healing that I work with was developed by Teal Swan. That was what was taught to me by my teacher and what I practice in my healing work with my clients. So Teal Swan is a famous spiritual teacher. She went through severely traumatizing childhood and overcame it and healed it by working with her inner child in particular. And now she reaches many thousands of people with her work, probably on a daily basis. I'm not really sure. You can check her out if you want. She's on Instagram. You can check out her website, Teal Swan. And she wrote a whole book about it, which the name of it is eluding me right now. But so she teaches that the inner child healing needs to happen between conception and 7 years old. That's a really important time of formation for us as children. And I believe that any of our wounds that are happening to us in this lifetime come from either our childhood between conception and 7, ancestrally, or from a past life. So if a wound occurs later in our lives, it can be that it's maybe the first time that that wound is kind of active ever inside of us. Like if we get in a really traumatic car accident, for example. But in general, when a wound is coming up, especially emotional wounds, it's really helpful to go back and see, okay, what's this? What's the deeper feeling or wound that's present for me that comes from way before this person ever showed up in my life to make me feel this way right now, or that's making me feel this way. So traumas can be big or small. It can be something like, yeah, maybe an abandonment from a parent. That's big. Abuse is also really big. Or it can be small things where, you're doing something and your family laughs at you and you feel ashamed and ridiculed, and that can freeze you. And so we kind of get frozen in time. That aspect of us gets frozen in time, and it becomes like what we call a soul fragment. So I'll share a lot more stories tomorrow, because tomorrow's also going to be about inner child healing, and I'll be sharing some stories from my life and from the lives of my clients, because I think it's really helpful to hear stories and see how it relates to you, how they relate to you, and how you might be able to move forward in your life through some of these stories. But the point of doing inner child healing is to go back and to give our child self, whatever version it is, maybe it's a 1-year-old, maybe it's the one that's still in your mother's womb, maybe it's a 7-year-old, whatever age your inner child is to go back and to meet the needs of your inner child. Trauma happens when something that happens in our life is too much on our nervous system and we don't have the capacity to process it. So as little beings, we weren't fully developed to be able to hold traumatic experiences. And what we would need at that time is the support of our parents in order to help us. And there are many of us who didn't fully get that from our parents, or maybe the wounding was caused by them, right? And so when we're doing inner child healing, it's about going back and reparenting yourself. So you get to act as the mother or the father for your inner child. Let me know how all this is landing for you. If you have any questions that come up during this talk today, you can put them in the comments below. And I'm just curious, if anything's coming up for you, feel free to share. So it's about going back and reparenting and meeting the needs of your child. So it's really interesting because sometimes our inner child will come. I've seen this. I've worked with this quite a few times with different clients. And your inner child, you'll call them in, like let's say it's in a healing session or a meditation, you'll invite them in to be here with you. And then the inner child comes and they're all happy and joyful. And I said, And I always ask the person that I'm working with in that case, if your inner child's all joyful and great, why did they come forward for this healing today? Meaning, what are they not showing you? Because this can happen lots of times to us where we don't even notice what's going on deeper inside of us, or we cover it up and try to even pretend to ourselves sometimes that everything is fine and dandy when it's actually not. And so, if you're doing any inner child healing and this is what comes up, it's something really cool to look at to see, okay, just really checking in and looking a little bit more deeply into the eyes of your little inner child to see, okay, what's actually here and what's actually present. Yeah, small and consistent or large and ballistic, they affect us. Exactly. Until we go back and heal them, because we can heal these wounds, and especially now yourself as an adult who is more equipped to go back and feel some of those uncomfortable feelings and experiences that you didn't have the capacity to feel when you were a child. And that's why it's also really important and helpful to have somebody helping you and supporting you to hold that space and help create that sense of safety. Because depending on where you're at in your journey, you might need an external person there helping you and supporting you and guiding you to connect more deeply and to meet the needs of your inner child. So I've seen so many different cases. Like I've probably done hundreds of inner child sessions for my clients over the years. And there's so many experiences that one can have, when your inner child presents themselves to you. I feel like a big one that's wanting to come forward that I'm getting intuitively to share is in the throat chakra. this fear of expressing yourself as who you are in the world, and also expressing your emotions. This is, I think, a big wound that many of us carry, is this fear of expressing our emotions and feeling safe to actually do that. Because many of us were rejected when we shared our emotions. We were told to be quiet, to be seen and not heard. We were laughed at. We were told that, we're too emotional, all kinds of things like that. And so it creates a big blockage in the throat. And so if this resonates with you, let this be your, inspiration to go and connect with yourself and see what is your connection with your throat and what were you told in your childhood around the throat. And again, there's so many ways that we can be wounded or have inner child wounds, but this is the one that's coming forward for me to share with you right now in this moment. So if it resonates with you, explore it if you feel called. So reparenting, the mother energy is really all about unconditional love, loving you no matter what. And so if your inner child needs that, which we all need that really, is can you imagine yourself being that mother figure for your inner child? Just loving them exactly as they are. And the father energy is about also unconditional love, but really presence is a big piece of the father energy that you can bring in healing your inner child. Just being there. And encouragement. I always get this image of the father energy of being like giving you a little pat on the butt and being like, keep going, you can do this, But the big thing that really came up when I was preparing to talk to you today about this theme, what your inner child truly needs from you, a big part of it is validation. So to validate the feelings that are coming up for you in any given moment when you're feeling triggered, whether you're feeling sad, angry, guilt, shame, whatever you're feeling, can you validate that in the moment and say, okay, it's okay that I'm feeling this right now. A nice thing to do is to place your hands on your heart and just tell yourself it's okay. What I've noticed a lot in many people is this rejection of what you're feeling, making it bad or wrong that you're feeling triggered or feeling upset. And that just makes it more difficult to actually heal. So imagine when you're triggered, this is what I like to do. And obviously everything is always an invitation if you want to do it or not. But I try to imagine when I'm triggered that it's my inner child. Sometimes it is, or maybe it's something beyond my inner child. But just to, how would I want to treat a little child in their feelings right now? Like a 2-year-old. Do you want to yell at that 2-year-old and tell them to suck it up and grow up? Or would you like to nurture that little one inside of you? So just noticing, not rejecting the feelings that are present because they probably come from a very young and very innocent part of you. And so giving yourself the space to feel them first is really essential. And just to say it's okay, it's valid what you're feeling, and I'm here for you. And this leads into the next point of just holding them. When I started working with my inner child the first time I ever connected with my little inner child, she was 2 years old, and she wouldn't talk to me at all. She was really mad at me. It took a while to get her to open to me because she felt abandoned. And so I had to build up that connection with her, to bring healing to her, to build that trust. She needed to feel that trust with me in order to be able to heal. And so what I've noticed is patience. This is another thing that your inner child truly needs from you, is patience. To not try to rush or force anything. The adult version of us is like, wow, I see this energy, I see this emotion, I feel ridiculous for having it, We reject ourselves and we're like, I want to fix it now. Why isn't it going away now? Why can't I change this pattern now? We get hard on ourselves and critical. And so having a lot of patience will support you so much in doing inner child healing, because you cannot rush your healing. There's a song by Trevor Hall called that, You Can't Rush Your Healing. And it's very true. We cannot force a little child, inner child, to heal when they're not ready. And so what you can do is keep showing up. Keep being there. Stay present. Find 5 minutes a day to keep checking in with your inner child. Just a comment here. This is so helpful for me. Awesome. I'm so glad. Because truly, like, this work has completely changed my life. And I've seen it make incredible impact on my clients as well. To go back and connect with those wounded parts of ourselves from our childhood. Because if you're on this path and if you're following these 30 days of illumination alongside me, I've devoted this time to light workers, to healers, to empaths, to highly sensitive people, to old souls. And you've probably been through a lot in your life. I think many of us did not receive the nourishment that we needed in our childhoods when we had difficulties. And sometimes we put up a lot of walls because of that. I'm seeing this image right now that's coming through intuitively is like these walls of protection that we put up because we're afraid. We've been hurt and we're afraid we're going to get hurt again. And so working with your inner child, connecting with yourself often, putting your hands on your body, bringing your awareness inside, breathing with any of the discomfort, letting yourself feel. These are all things that will really help you and help bring long-lasting healing to your inner child. Because with inner child healing, the main kind of intention of it is to connect with these wounded parts, like usually, one at a time, one aspect of yourself at a time, to allow yourself to fully feel it and fully process it, to meet all the needs of your inner child. And then when your inner child is ready, they will reintegrate inside of you. When all the trauma and wounding has been released, they're then ready to integrate inside of you. And that's the end goal of doing inner child work. Because then that wound, it will not be present inside of you anymore. And you can then embody something else that's more empowering and more free and more loving for you. So that's what I wanted to share about inner child healing today and what your inner child truly needs from you. So just to recap, what I've shared is around validating their experience, validating their emotions, holding them, being present, and staying patient, not trying to rush or force anything. And it's about reparenting your inner child, acting as the mother or the father, or both, for your inner child. And this, what it creates is a deeper sense of sovereignty, of being able to hold ourselves and not needing somebody outside of us to do that for us. So I'm going to be talking more about sovereignty tomorrow, which is going to be all about why inner child healing works. And feel free to comment on this video below with any insights or questions you might have, and I will get back to them. And I am excited to see you tomorrow for the next one. And that's it for today. So I'm sending you so much love. I'm so grateful for your presence, for being here with me, and I hope to see you again soon. And don't forget to enter the giveaway. That's the pinned post in my Instagram account right now. It's going until March the 8th. It's a giveaway to win a free intuitive healing session with me, which we can do inner child healing in if that's what's feeling present for you. And I would love to support you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye.